Okay, so chapter 22, Parable of the Wedding Feast. Jesus again, the Parable of the Wedding Feast. Jesus again in reply spoke to them in parables, saying, The kingdom of heaven may be likened to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son. He dispatched his servants to summon and invite the guests to the feast, but they refused to come. A second time he sent other servants, saying, Tell those invited, Behold, I have prepared my banquet, my calves and fattened cattle have been killed, and everyone is ready. Come to the feast. Come to the feast. Some ignored the invitation and went away, one to his farm, another to his business. The rest of the laying hold of the servants mistreated them and killed them. The rest lay hold of his servants and mistreated them and killed them. The king was enraged and sent his troops, destroyed the murderers, burned the city, and he said to his servants, The feast is ready, but those who were invited were not worthy to come. But those who were worthy were invited. No, those who were invited were not worthy to come. Go out, therefore, into the main roads and invite to the feast whomever you find. The servants went out into the streets and gathered all they found, bad and good alike. The hall was filled with guests, but when the king came in to meet the guests, he saw a man not dressed in a wedding garment. He said to him, My friend, how is it you came in here without a wedding garment? But he was reduced to silence. Then the king said to his servants, Bind his hands and feet, and cast him into the darkness outside, where there'll be waiting and grinding of teeth. Many are invited, but few are chosen. Paying the taxes to the emperor. Oh, here we go. Line 15, I guess. Sorry about that. Paying the taxes to the emperor. Then the Pharisees went off and plotted up how they may entrap him. In speech, they sent out their disciples to him, the Herodians, saying, paying the taxes to the emperor. Then the Pharisees went off and plotted how they might entrap him. In speech, they sent out their disciples to him, the Herodians, saying, Teacher, we know that you are a truthful man and that you teach the way of God, in accordance with the truth. And you are not concerned with anyone's opinion, for you do not regard a person's status. Tell us, what is your opinion? Is it lawful to pay the census tax to Caesar or not? Knowing their malice, Jesus said, Why are you testing me, you hypocrites? Show me the coin that pays the census tax. Then they handed him the Roman coin. He said to him, Whose image is this, and whose inscription? They replied, Caesar's. And they said to them, Then repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. To Caesar and to God what belongs to God. Then when they heard this, they were amazed, and leaving him, they went away. On that day, the question about resurrection. On that day, the Sadducees approached him, saying that there is no resurrection. They put this question to him, saying, Teacher, Moses said, if a man dies without children, his brother shall marry his wife and raise up the descendants for his brother. Now there are 7 brothers amongst us. Raise up the descendants of his brother. Now that there are 7 brothers amongst us. The first married and died, having no the same. Okay. And now there are 7 brothers amongst us. The first married and died, having no descendants, left his wife to his brother. The same happened to the second and third and all and all 7. The first married and died, they have no sins left. The wife said to his brother. Finally, the woman died? What the? Now there were 7 brothers amongst us. Oh, the first married and died, and having no descendants, left his wife to his brother. The same happened with the second and third, and through all 7. Finally, the woman died. Now at the resurrection of the 7, whose wife will she be? They all have been married to her. Jesus said to him in reply, You are misled because you do not know the Scriptures or the power of God. At the resurrection, they will neither marry nor are they given marriage, but are like the angels in heaven. At the resurrection, they neither marry nor are they given marriage, but like the angels in heaven. And concerning the resurrection of the dead, have you not read what was said to you by God? I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. When the crowds heard this, they were astonished at his teaching. The greatest commandment of all. When the Pharisees heard this, they had silenced the Sadducees. They had gathered together, and one of them, a scholar of the law, tested him by asking, Teacher, which commandment is the law of the law in the law? Which commandment in the law is the greatest? That he said unto them, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. The whole law and the prophets depend on these 2 commandments. The whole law and the prophets depend on these 2 commandments. The question about David's son. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus questioned them, saying, What is your opinion about the Messiah? Whose son is he? They replied, David's. He said unto them, How then does David inspire the Spirit? How then does David, inspired by the Spirit, call him Lord, saying, The Lord said to my Lord, Sit at my right hand until I place the enemies under your feet. If David calls him Lord, how can he be his son? No one has been able to answer him a word, nor from him that day. No one has been able to answer him a word, nor from that day on did anyone dare to speak any more questions. Chapter 23. So, chapter 23, the denunciation of the scribes and the Pharisees. So we'll end it here and go to chapter 23. We're on chapter 22 now.